Hello students, welcome back to English literature classes. Today our topic is forms of essay. Okay, forms of essay. What is the difference between formal and informal essay? What are the forms of essay prescribed for your study? How does one form differ from the other? Account for a descriptive essay in details. Okay, forms of essay. There are many forms of essay, but the chief among them are the following. 1. Reflective essay, and second periodical essays, and third the descriptive essays. Okay. Number 1, reflective essay. A meditative, thoughtful essay is called a reflective essay. In it, the essayist selects a particular subject and thinks over it so deep that all the important aspects of it are exposed. The essayist points out advantages as well as disadvantages of the thing on which the meditation goes on. In this way, it can be said that comprehensiveness and clarity of expression are the basic qualities of a reflective essay. In the field of reflective essays, the name of Francis Bacon holds the highest place. Among the modern essays, A.Z. Gardner also contributes to reflective essays. Next, periodical essays. An essay published at regular intervals longer than a day but shorter than a year as weekly, monthly, etc. is called a periodical essays. Accordingly, all the articles published in periodical magazines are periodical essays. Generally, they deal with a certain sets of character who visits different places or discuss different problems of current importance. Thus, they get an opportunity of discussing important subject in a comprehensive way as well as suggesting a practical solution of the problem. Edison popularized and perfected this style, but later on, Lamb contributed without following this design, Addison and Lamb are popular writers of political essays. Next, descriptive essays. An essay depicting description of a place, occasion, or incident is called a descriptive essay. George Orwell's Shooting of an Elephant is a descriptive essay. In the essay, Orwell tells how an elephant grows mad and destructive. It becomes necessary to kill it, though at heart Orwell is not willing to kill such a grand creature. Next is the background of the incident. Orwell was posted in Lower Burma. A large number of people hated him, for he was an Englishman. All were afraid to him. There was no possibility of any threat, but the bitterness against the English was a severe problem. The bitterness can be assessed by the fact that even European ladies could be victims of public insult. If a European visited market, somebody would spoil her dress by spitting battle juice over it. These incidents were highly irritating, but no police action could be taken against it. Next point is the situation. On getting the information about destruction caused by a mad elephant, Orwell, being a responsible police officer, rushed to the spot with a rifle, but he was not in a mood of killing the elephant. He wanted to avoid the shooting, for he knew so often elephants act madly in a fit when they are in the state of being muzzed. After a few hours, the excitement reduced enough to restore a normal state of mind. Orwell thought the elephant was so huge, powerful, and costly that by all means he ought to be preserved rather than destroyed from a distance. Orwell marked the elephant was looking as harmless as a cow. He was peacefully eating without causing any disturbance to the others. Next point, the incident. It is true that George Orwell was not in mood of killing the elephant, but people expectations were increasing greatly moments after moment. It was a heavy pressure on Orwell's mind to act like an English police officer with resolution. Not less than 2000 people were waiting for Orwell's heroic action. He knew the shooting would be unjust. Besides, he had never killed the elephant. Now the elephant was looking quite normal, but as an officer Orwell stood there to represent the crown. If people laughed at him, it would be an insult to the crown. The situation was highly embarrassing to him. A Sahib has got to act like a Sahib. He was got to appear resolute to know his own mind. Do definite things to come all that way, rifle in hand, with 2000 people marching at my heels, and then to trade we will away having done nothing. No, that was impossible. The crown would laugh at me and my whole life. Every white man's life in the East was one long struggle not to be laughed at. Ultimately, Orwell killed the elephant, though he was not willing to do that. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.